then the other material, just because I'm here already, is the process, right? So hopefully, do you have your materials in front of you for shifting perspective?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. So we'll just go back to the slide presentation here. So perspective is the view that we bring to a situation. And, you know, that view is just like this iceberg that we see here. So what we hear or what we see in terms of people's actions is just the tip of the iceberg. In this slide, the bulk of the iceberg is hidden. And you can liken the reasons now behind why, say, Roseanne's client continues to book the appointments, but actually isn't doing anything in terms of what he says he wants to do, right? It could be, if you notice what happened with Kathy's employee, she actually was ignorant, and I'm using ignorant now in a very positive way. A gap. There was a gap in her knowledge. She didn't understand the importance of textures in certain patients' diets. And so because of that gap in her knowledge and understanding, what we see as the tip was interpreted at one point by Kathy as her being resistant to change that she didn't want to change. While what was really motivating this lady was that giving good quality homemade meals that are nicely done up and tasteful and so on and so forth, right? So I won't go into any of the ego, super ego, and so on. We just need to know that what we see is not necessarily what is. And it's the unspoken, the things that, the invisible, that actually drives people's actions and their decisions more so than anything. And so below the surface of the water are those underlying beliefs that shape their assumptions, that shape their perspective, and their perspective now, their view of the world is going to dictate to them, do I take action or do I not take action? And if I take action, what kind of action am I going to take? Am I going to react negatively to this, or am I going to ask some questions, get clarification so that I have the full picture? So just a quick question for you. And remember, it's 3 of you in the class today, and you're working today. So think of yourselves and your own interaction with your clients. If you know that this is kind of the situation why people do what they do, that they have these underlying beliefs, what will that do for you now as the practitioner to better able to move people forward? And recognize you've looked at IDARE, you've looked at questions so far, you understand presence and the relationship. What will this knowledge about perspective do for you, the practitioner, in better able to help your clients, your coaches, to move forward? Roseanne, what's your thought on that?
I guess just better understanding what drives them, and it's based on their beliefs and that, right? So drawing out what's important to them and then helping them move forward.
Absolutely. So that again is intention, right? So though we know that they will say something to us, because a lot of people will come and believe that, like with Olson, you're wearing a white lab coat in the hospital, they immediately say, oh, the doctor is here. And therefore, they sort of take on this persona around the doctor. And so they tell the doctor what the doctor wants to hear. While you're not a doctor, you're working in a different role. And so these people are making some assumptions. So your role there now is to clarify, quantify, and actually put them at ease so that they can better you know, do the work. The most important work of all that they'll ever do is to really work on themselves, you know.